Alexis Finley, who works with Darren Rhodes and Yoga Oasis down in Tucson. And it's another one where I'm going to have a timer going for every 30 seconds to chime. So some of the flows we'll do for a minute, and then when we're holding an individual pose, that'll be for about 30 seconds. And we're going to get a chance to try out Peacock Pose in this sequence. So we'll see how that goes, and it's a challenging pose, but maybe we'll get a little bit of lift off there. So we're going to start in downward facing dog, so please join me on your mat. And we'll just go ahead and walk our dog. Just warming up the legs. In order to build some heat, we're going to lift the right leg up. We're going to come forward to a three-legged plank. We're going to lower chaturanga, come back up, and reach that leg back up and switch. Left leg up, plank, chaturanga, plank, lift up, switch legs. Keep going. Reach back. Switch legs. Reach back. We're going to lift a leg, step it to warrior one, come up, touch the pose, and step back, lift that leg again, and switch. So we'll lift a leg, warrior one, come up, touch the pose, come back, same leg lifts, and then you switch. Just to build a little bit of heat, get everything moving. Last one. Finish it, and then we're going to come to a standing forward fold. I'm going to take it like a rag doll, holding opposite elbows, little sway, soft knees. Come up to your halfway lift, extending your spine, press the back of your head up, barely touching the floor, reaching the crown of your head and the tip of your tailbone in opposite directions. Wiggle your feet together to touch. Come up to standing. Left hand reaches to the right elbow. Get really tall. Hips to the right. Arc over to the left. And twist a little bit of the chest up to the ceiling. And release the arms to switch sides. Come up, Right arm holds left elbow. Get tall. Hips to the left. Arc to the right. And sit down into your chair, but reach your arms forward instead of up. So sit the hips way back, weight in the heels. Feel the abs curling a little bit. Sit a little lower, last few seconds here. And downward facing dog. Holding here. Do another minute of lifting the leg, forward plank, chaturanga, plank, down dog, switch legs, lift, plank, chaturanga, plank, lift, keep going. And this time you're going to just lift the right leg and hold it. So let's play around with the hips here. Feel that you can open the hip and then bring it back down. Try to inwardly rotate your right thigh and feel how that reaches the left hip back. Reach it higher. And step it up for warrior one. This time we're going to hold it. So I spin the back heel down. I reach up, bring my palms to touch. Look at my thumbs. And then try to twist a little so my left hip comes forward, my right knee bends. Let's go to warrior two. I adjust my feet to be in one line. Sink, knee over ankle, left thigh bone back, arms out. I'm feeling all four corners of my front foot and my back foot. Let's go to down dog and lift the left leg up. So notice if you lift the hip open, you want to close it down. Pull the right hip crease back. Lift the leg higher. Step it up for warrior one. Spin that back heel, deep bend in the front knee, palms together. Look at the thumbs. Spin that right hip forward, bend deeper in the left knee. All right, warrior two, I adjust my back foot. Sink into the left knee. Pull the right thigh bone back. Extend the arms. Think about the four corners of the feet. Now we're going to step to our forward fold.
You can grab opposite elbows again if you like, but my legs are a little straighter now. Not all the way, but more so than that first one. I still like to sway. Feeling the four corners of the feet once again. And halfway lift, fingertips touch the mat, extending my spine, tailbone to crown, getting long in opposite directions. I'm also kind of spreading the mat apart with my heels, a little isometric action. Bringing my feet together to touch, coming up to standing. This time I'm going to interlace my fingers, reach up, and hips to the right, arc to the left. I'm squeezing my head with my biceps. Don't collapse on the left side. Lengthen up and over something. And release the arms in between sides. Arc up and over. Hips go left, arms go right. Now you can interlace your fingers behind your back. I've got a shoulder thing, so I'm going to keep them open. And I'm going to go like chair pose. And I'm going to round my spine like cat. See if I can get my head to my knees. It won't get there, but I'm going to try. Sit your butt way back, heels, weight in the heels. Stretching the arms overhead. Again, you should be clasped. I've just got a shoulder thing. And downward facing dog. Let's do our flow. Lift the leg up, plank, chaturanga, plank, lift up, other leg, plank, chaturanga, plank, lift up, keep going. And this time, right leg steps forward for warrior one. Spinning that back heel down. Left hip forward, right knee bends. Look at your thumbs. Warrior two, adjust the back foot. Sink into the front knee, stack it on top. Reach the left thigh back. Now we're going to step on our right leg for warrior three. So I'm going to reach my fingertips back strongly, squeeze my shoulder blades. I'm going to rotate so my left knee and toes are pointing down towards the ground, lifting up with that left glute. And downward facing dog. And then we'll do our other side. Left foot forward, warrior one. Spin the back heel. Right hip forward. Deep bend in the left knee. Warrior two, adjust the back foot, adjust your hips, deep bend in the front knee, reach out through the shoulders. Step on the left foot, warrior three. Reach the fingertips back. Rotate the lifted leg down, kneecap pointing towards your mat. Squeeze the glute to lift that leg higher. And forward fold. Maybe your hands are on the ground for this one, or maybe you got opposite elbows again. Halfway lift, extend the spine, crown of the head reaching in opposite direction from the tail, and widening the heels to spread the mat apart, feeling that engagement in the hips when you do that. And bringing the feet together, reaching up, your left hand grabs your right wrist, grow really tall, hips to the right, arc to the left, and then try to lift your left foot. I think about pushing with the pinky toe edge of my foot out and extending and straightening my left leg really strongly so that my left leg is engaged and strong. Let's try the other side. Right hand grasps left wrist, hips go left, arms go right, and then press that right leg out. So engaged, so strong, flexed foot. Release. Bring your big toes to touch. Sit in your chair, left arm up, and we're going to twist, elbow outside the knee, hands together, push down to lift up, and then your left knee might have snuck in front, so pull your left hip back so your knees are even. Extend your head away from your tailbone, reach your tailbone back, sit in that chair, and let's do the other side. Right arm up, twist, hook, hands together, get the chest where the thumbs are, and then swing the hips to even out the knees, and reach your head and your tailbone away from each other. All right, come down to hands and knees. Turn your fingers to point back at your knees. I like a little bend in my elbows. Lift the right leg up. This is called Southpaw Tiger. And switch your legs. Keep the stretch in the forearms. And release. Let's just bring the backs of the hands down for a second. I like to curl my fingers into fists and then release, opening and closing my fingers, if you can see that. Now we're going to start getting ready for our Peacock Pose. So bring your hands flat. Take your knees back one step, tuck your toes under, and bring your chest between your thumbs. Knees, chest, and chin. Lift your shoulders up, shoulder blades on the back, squeeze the elbows in. And then walk your body out. We're going to turn our palms down, thumbs out, and bring them underneath our body. So you want to roll to each side. Try to get your pinky fingers to touch. And just breathe here. Getting used to having your hands, palms down, thumbs out, pinkies touching underneath you. Feel your hip bones on your arms. And lift your left leg. And breathe here. And switch right leg up. Okay, now try to lift both. It's amazing. For me, my feet barely hover off the ground when I lift both, but other people can get them up quite high. Feel the engagement on your back body. And release your arms from underneath you. Let's rock our hips from side to side, and then we're going to try the full peacock, which is a little different. Whew. But let's take this rest first, and then I'll walk you through it. Okay. So, we're going to come up to hands and knees, and then we're going to have our toes tucked under, and we're going to take our knees wide, like we're in kind of a little diamond pose, and we're going to sit back towards our heels. And then we're going to have our fingers turned back, like we did in our Southpaw Tiger. And we're going to bend our elbows back into our bodies like a backwards chaturanga, and we're gonna try to round our spine like a cat so that our elbows can get below our belly button and we can kind of balance on that. So we're gonna set it up back here with our weight back on our heels, but then we have to lean forward just like you do in chaturanga, get our head forward so then our arms will go from here to being on top of themselves, elbow over wrist. So to start, let's try to get the elbows underneath, and then we can reach our fingertips down and get our hands flat, and then we can try to adjust again. And then I have to get my head to go forward, and then my toes can lift in Baddha Konasana. I don't know if you saw that. I'm going to move up a little bit. So, if you're asking what about your chest, we go kind of a scooping around the boobs. Try and get our elbows to meet together, pinky fingers touching, fingers down, and then we go forward and see if we can hover. Woo! And we're close to the floor. So that's the worst that happens. So give that a try, and when you're done, I like to bring the backs of the hands down and make fists and release. Peacock Pose is a weird one, but I find that having those Baddha Konasana diamond legs is much easier to lift and hover when you're first trying it, whereas the full pose, your legs are straight. And that's a lot heavier if we know our physics. It's a longer lever. Okay, we are going to come up to kneeling. And when I do this, I like to put a yoga block between my ankles. So if you have one, go for it. We are going to come up and bring our arms out and keep this all really tucked under and tight, and lean back and come forward. Lean back and come forward. Little quad strengthener. And now we're going to go into our camel. I like to stick my butt out, create arch in my upper back, and then hinge my hips forward and reach back for the feet. Neck is free. Spine is long and arcing. And let's come to sit on our heels, or I've got my block. And then I reach down and the soles of my feet are right there, so I use my thumbs. And I just press into the arches of my feet, a little self-massage. So good. And then again here, the sequence calls for interlacing your fingers behind your back and then rounding head to knees. I'm going to keep my hands open because of my shoulder thing. So stretching out the shoulders and the back. Curling up. All right, we're going to come to a forearm plank. I'm interlacing my fingers, shoulders over elbows, lowering my hips, zipping my abs in. Strong legs. And then walk your feet up for dolphin. So it's like down dog on your forearms. Try to push your chest back towards your thighs, and then try to pull your ribs in a little bit. Let your head hang heavy. It should not be on the floor. You have to push the mat away so much that your head doesn't touch. Do not sink into your shoulders. Push, 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 push. And take a child's pose. Nice work. It might feel good to flip your palms up to the ceiling in this child's pose. All right, slither out onto your belly. Keep your left forearm underneath you, bend your right leg. Reach back for the inside of that foot, and then spin your hand to the top of your foot. Your elbow points up to the ceiling. Quad stretch. Let's do the other side. Right forearm down, left foot up. Reach to the inside, spin your hand to the top of the foot, and shoulder forward, elbow up. Release. We're going to come to our regular plank. This time, I want you to put your toenails down and try the tops of your feet. Puff up between your shoulder blades. Few more seconds here. All right, we're gonna flip over to Purvottanasana. So our hands are back, our feet are forward, and it's like plank facing upward. Squeeze your glutes, lift your hips. Release. Whew. Come on up to standing. Big toes touch. Interlace your fingers. Palms reach up. Press up. Draw your tailbone down. Ribs in. Hug your ears with your biceps. And regular Utkatasana. Sweep. Fingers touch the ground and then reach up in your chair. And come to standing. Stand on your left foot. Reach for your big toe. Extend it forward. Drop the right hip. Proud chest. And then release and hover that right leg. Whew. That one's hard for me. I'm going to get ready for the next side. Standing on my right leg, grabbing my left big toe, straightening it in front of me, Proud chest, left hip drops down. And releasing to hover. Shake that out before I get ready for the next pose. Woo. We're going to stand on the left foot and go to warrior three again. Maybe try arms out to the sides, or a real challenge is arms forward, palms touching. Try to reach that right hip down. Rotate the right kneecap to point down. Let's do our other leg. Standing on the right. Lifting the left. Hips point down, kneecap points down. Glute engaged. Stand on your left, hip back. Get that big toe out to the side like happy baby. And then maybe you can straighten. And then come to tree, foot into thigh, thigh into foot. Stand on the right, get that big toe, stick your butt out, happy baby, and then maybe straighten. And tree pose. Thigh into foot, foot into thigh, arm variations. Find the stillness. Big step back with the left foot for a lunge. Hands on the backs of the hips, squeeze the shoulder blades together, left hip forward, sink, and reach the chest up, straighten the back leg. And step forward to switch, right foot back. Straighten the back leg, set the hips forward, squeeze the shoulder blades on the back, proud chest. And step forward, sit into a chair. Right leg
over left. Left arm on top of right. Eagle. I like to use my toes as a kickstand and then try to lift them up on this side. And let's do our other side. Sit, left leg over, right arm on top. And have a seat. Purvottanasana with the knees bent. So reaching our hands back, open the chest, lift the hips. Try lifting one leg up. Try the other leg. Lift the hips. And release. Grab your big toes. Lean back. And then straighten into a triangle. Lift your chest through your arms. All right, come to hands and knees. And we're gonna put our left shin bone across the bottom of the meaty part of the right calf and then sit back. So it's kind of like my ankle of my left leg is right where the calf muscle starts to taper. A little self-massage. Let's do the other side. So my right shin bone goes to the bottom of the meaty part of my left calf, and then I sit down on it to really press that bone into the muscle. Cross left on top of right. Hands go right by the knees. Cat back. Try to pull your knees into your chest. If you're a superstar, you can hover your feet as well. Use those abs. Round like a cat. And let's switch the cross. And do it again. Hands by the knees. Round the back. Pull the knees up. And release. Lay on your back. I'm going to do it sideways so we can see better. Let's just lay here till our timer starts. Okay, so we're going to cross our right foot over our left ankle and reach down for the outside edges of the feet. And then I'm going to pull my left knee down away from my face and roll to the side to straighten my right leg and keep reaching it to the floor as my right shoulder reaches to the floor. So I'm twisting, getting an IT band stretch on the right leg and a quad stretch on the left leg. All right, let's unwind and do the other side. Left ankle crosses over right,
tops of feet, outside edges, grip them. Right knee reaches down, roll over to the left foot to the ground, reach the left shoulder to the ground. And release. Now we're going to do some giant windshield wipers, arms out in a T, legs up. Let's move the hips to the right and lower the legs to the left. Keep your right shoulder down and reach your right hip down away from your face. Make that side body long. And then bring it back up to center. Lift your hips a little over to the left. And then slowly lower your legs to the right hand. Left shoulder down, left hip away from your head. Long side body. All right, releasing that, preparing for some back bends. All right, bring your heels close, elbows into the floor, push to lift your chest up, arcing the back, lift your hips up, place your fingertips pointing back towards your shoulders, and come up to the crown of your head. Squeeze the shoulders in, and then press all the way up. Push your shoulders back, chest through, and breathe. Squeeze your knees in towards each other. Press your chest back with your legs. Let your head dangle free. Come on down. Whew. Arms overhead, feet as wide as the mat. Drop your knees to the left. Step your left foot on your right thigh. Pull that thigh out of the hip socket, kind of diagonally away from the right shoulder. Lengthening the front of that hip. And place your left foot on the outer edge of your mat. Sweep the knees over to the right. Right foot steps on left thigh, drags it out of the hip socket. And make your way up to a seated position. Bring your legs out long, and we'll bring the left leg over, knee over knee. The foot's back by my hip like Gomukhasana. And then we're going to stretch over this straight right leg. This top leg being bent, it keeps your chest from getting very low, but you'll feel that it's a different stretch than when you say have your knee out to the side. Half Gomukhasana or half cow face pose. Starting to wind down, cool down. Let's switch our legs. So the left leg is straight. The right knee, I want knee over knee. Foot is back by my hip. And then I reach forward just as far as I can. Feeling the different kind of stretch I get in this half cow face pose. into Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. You can sit up tall and just stay here, or if you can tilt your pelvis forward, you can start to walk forward. No knee pain. And then we're going to bring the right ankle over the left knee, shin bones parallel to the top of the mat, feet flexed. Fire logs pose. If this is a lot of sensation in your hips, stay here. If you can, then you can move forward. But it's just going to where you begin to feel the stretch in the hips. It's not about folding forward when you were already feeling it sitting upright. Let's take another 30 seconds here to get in a little deeper. Breathe into that right hip. Flex the feet. Switch sides, so the shin bones are parallel to the top of the mat. The left foot should dangle off the edge of the right knee. Maybe you're upright. Maybe you can reach forward just as far as you start to feel sensation in your left hip. Do a little seated meditation. So you can sit with your feet crossed like this, or if you like, you can sit up on a block and let your knees get lower than your hips. That can feel really nice. If you're feeling a little bit out of control in life, then palms down is grounding. If you are feeling kind of heavy and want to get a little lighter, then you can flip your palms up in the receiving position. Roll the shoulders back and down. Stack your head right on top of your hips. Grow your spine tall. Close your eyes. And just deepen your breath, trying to make the breath audible like the ocean. Filling the back body on your inhales as well as the front. And as you exhale, squeezing out the air and sinking into the floor. Getting a little taller on your inhale, sliding the shoulder blades down the back on the exhale. Smoothing out your forehead, releasing your jaw. Following the breath like an elevator up and down your spine. Thinking mostly about your breath and how you feel it in your body. Trying to let any other thoughts just pass by you.
last big breath. Inhale. Hold it at the top. Slow exhale. And let's move into our Savasana. You can lay back. I'm going to set a timer. And stretch out your legs. Let your feet flop out to the side. Turn your palms face up. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath your back. There should be a curve in the back of your neck, not touching the floor, and there should be a curve in your low back, not touching the floor. Let's scan through the body. Smooth out the forehead. Relax the eyes into their sockets. Feel the back of your head heavy on the mat. Release your jaw. Let your tongue be full in your mouth. Notice the curve of your neck away from the mat. Feel your shoulder blades. They should be down your back and tucked under, so your shoulders are away from your ears. Feel the rotation of your arms, with the inner arms and palms facing up in the receiving position. Notice the rise and fall of your breath in your belly. Feel your hips heavy on the mat. Feel your legs heavy on the mat. Feel the outside edges of your feet touching the floor or the mat. And let the floor hold you up. Savasana.
start to wiggle fingers and toes. Roll your toes to point in towards each other and then flop the feet back out, rotating in the hips, turning head side to side. Oh, and then zip your legs together, reach arms overhead, make yourself long. Stretch. Hug your knees in, give yourself a squeeze in a tight ball, rocking side to side. If you are practicing in the morning like I am, we're going to roll to our right, the solar side. If you are practicing at night, you can roll to your left, the lunar side. So roll to your side. Pause there. Make your way up to seated. Let's circle out the neck. And hands together at heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're feeling good. So let's send some love and light out to those who need it. Think of someone, whether it's a type of essential worker or someone you know personally. And just send your energy out to them. Namaste. All right, thank you so much. See you in my next video. Have a great day.